Evening, Tim. Just getting wired up. Oh dear. Good evening, one and all. Hi Tim, hi Joe Fish, Rocket Dog. No, we're just starting. Ohio Piper is in the house, and Andy Lucas. You finally got to try 40th anniversary. How does it compare to Christmas cheer? Right off the bat here. Okay, well, they're very, to my palate, 40th anniversary and... No, you know what, I'm going to turn the main light off. A little bit more intimate. So, hi Bradford. So, hi Suffolk Piper UK. What a lonely smoke. I haven't started smoking actually. Let's start the coffee for a start. Yum yum yum. It's good. Okay, so 40th anniversary. I actually had a video up for about half an hour tonight. I recorded a video about my 6 top summer blends for this past 2018. Lovely. Oh, right, that makes more sense, Andy. Hi, Razvan. And I recorded a video. It was up about an hour ago, but the recording quality was disastrous, so I took it down. It was just too bad to listen to. So maybe I'll go through my top 6 now. I've got them on the table here still, if that's of interest, but maybe we'll do that a bit later. Tonight what I want to do is get one of my recently converted pipes up and running, hence my new pipe starter kit over there. So the pipe that I want to start off tonight is this lovely RC Sands pipe. I bought this a good while back. It's unsmoked. I bought it on eBay and sent it off to Ian Walker, Northern Briars, and he converted it, and he's actually done a fantastic job on it. So I'm actually pretty excited to try this one out. I'm going to give it a quick run through in case there's any sawdust or anything like that in there. And this stuff evaporates pretty much straight away. It's alcohol. You know, there's some pipes that you get that the hole on the bit is just too narrow to get pipe cleaners through, and that always puzzles me. This one's okay just about, but it does puzzle me why you do get some pipes where you literally struggle to I haven't had Comoys, Ohio. I don't know which pipe you're talking about. I'm talking about this one here. Is it this one you're talking about? Joshua LeBeouf, I don't know if you heard what I said. Is it this one you're talking about here? This is a Neerup. Okay, Rocket Dog. In terms of converting my pipes to filtered pipes, very, very, very simple. One reason and one reason only, and that is, I would say that the vast majority, of tobacco blends containing Virginia I couldn't smoke. High Cal Delta Piper. Anything which was Virginia Ford, I just couldn't smoke. I got too badly bitten, tongue bite, and as soon as I tried, almost by mistake, as soon as I tried a 9mm filter, it just completely solved the issue. Just no problem at all. And I've not looked back since. I appear to have a sensitive tongue to tongue bite. So it's been a solution for me, and it's been fantastic. Walnut flake. I haven't actually tried it, but I've Suffolk Piper. But yeah, it's got it's very well thought of. Well, the one of the blends that I talked about earlier on in that video that I had to take down was Special Virginia by B&H, and that's also it's got some Kentucky in there, and it's delightful. It's got a really nice sweet Virginia, but it's tempered and contrasted by the Kentucky, and it makes it just a very nicely balanced smoke. Sorry, but I've got to put the light back on. This honey has congealed, crystallized, so it's not spreading very well. We're getting there. Yeah, there is a dearth of filtered pipes in the US, but I have noticed an increase worldwide, to be honest. I think there is an uptake in 9mm pipes. I think quite a few people have started using them in the last year. I've definitely seen a difference. Hey Dwight, thanks for joining. Alright, I think that's enough honey on there. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to smoke in there yet. And what other firsts have you had, Suffolk Piper? A double Corona. Right, yeah, pad, definitely. It depends what time I get to a cigar, if I get to a cigar. If it's really late, then a double Corona is just too big to be starting off at this time of night. It's 1:45 here. Okay, so questions are, which tobacco we should christen this very nice RC Sands pipe with. It's actually a very nicely balanced pipe. Interesting shape to the stem there. It's more sort of straight on the top and then curved on the bottom side of that stem. Seems a bit of a shame to smoke Christmas cheer in a new pipe. Sorry, to answer your question earlier on, who was it? Andy Lucas. You asked about the difference between Christmas cheer and 40th. They're actually, to my palate, they're of the same genre. They're both typical sweet and spicy Virginia blends from McClelland, and 40th I think is just their final song. It's their final issue, and they just used a superlative quality Virginia for that 40th blend. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept that particular yield of tobacco for a special event, and they probably had that for a while, that tobacco, and they've just used it, you know, to go out on a high, and oh boy did they go out on a high. It's a phenomenal tobacco. If you like McClelland's style Virginia tobacco, in my opinion, to my palate, it's fantastic. Suffolk Piper, would I recommend a particular tobacco to break in a pipe? The short answer is I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not experienced enough in breaking in pipes to answer that. I break mine in to something which has got a relatively strong flavour. Some might say the opposite. Some might say, well, you don't want to sort of implant a flavour into a pipe. I'm not talking about tobaccos which ghost. I'm not talking about a Lakeland, you know, I'm not talking about Ennerdale or something like that. I'm talking about something like possibly Christmas cheer, or maybe I wouldn't use Christmas cheer because of its value to me at the moment, but something which is a fairly pokey blend. And I think what I'm going to do tonight is smoke some Asquith blend, which was very, very good the last time I tried it. It's amazing how different it is from when it was first mixed, which was in June 18. I mixed this up the first time and I pressed it, and I smoked it recently. It was phenomenal, so we're going to smoke that. But if you're into aromatics is a good way to go. The main thing that I think of when I'm starting off a new pipe is depending on the pipe. And hi Mike, how you doing? Pat has struck there as well. What did you get yourself? So the main thing I sort of think of is about, in case there's a new pipe flavour to the pipe. You know, some pipes, they're great from the off, and you don't have to worry about flavours, and they just smoke fantastically from the off. Nice one. One case in point is this this Lyrup. This one I smoked London Fog. I've only ever smoked London Fog in it. Nothing else has gone into this pipe, but it smoked it phenomenally, and I kind of got hooked on London Fog. And you know, I've tried lots of different blends, homemade blends, and they didn't quite work out. But the synergy between this pipe and London Fog was just so spot on. That's why I stuck with London Fog. In another pipe, I might not have gone with it. You know, London Fog has just stayed because it just worked out in that pipe. That pipe is what made London Fog. Hey Tree, how you doing? So this is Asquith blend, which is a vapor, but with a high Tariq content. So it's quite pokey. The one thing about using honey and smoking it straight away before it dries is that it's very sticky. And I found recently that I prefer to smoke it straight away when it's sticky. It seems to do a better initial sort of coating to the bowl, to my preference, as opposed to when you leave it overnight to dry a bit. It's still tacky because it's honey, but it's drier, and obviously the tobacco that you're smoking doesn't adhere to it as well as when you smoke it while it's still sticky. That's what works for me anyway. No hard and fast rule, as we know. Speaking about that, I mean, you've all seen, no doubt, the Artful Codgers video. In case I forget, remind me about that point I was about to make about the Artful Codgers video. What do you enjoy more, pipes or cigars, and how come? Again, that's kind of a there's no hard and fast rule on that. Sometimes I'm more into cigars, sometimes more into pipes, but once again, since I moved to filtered pipes, I've definitely been smoking pipes more. And I'll tell you this, before I found the filter, which was in December last year, I almost stopped pipe smoking. I won't say stopped, but I was getting to that point because I was hardly smoking a pipe. I was smoking sometimes 3-4 cigars in a day, which is a lot. I just wasn't interested in it. I was just suffering too much. I was just getting to a stage where whatever I smoked, even Northwoods, which was something that, generally speaking, I could smoke, I was kind of losing my tether, if you like, when it comes to pipe smoking. And then I got to filtered pipes, and I haven't looked back. But I still do smoke on average 1 cigar a day, probably. Sometimes more, but on average. Sometimes no cigars, but on average. Joshua, the two pipes you're talking about in the thumbnail of my handle, is that what you mean? The two pipes are a Savinelli 606, which is here. This is a Christmas edition from, I always forget the year, I think it's 2015. That's the Christmas edition 606. And the other one is also a Nirup, which I've sold. It was a sitter, but very nice. And beautiful grainy pipe. But I sold that a while back. I think I sold that to Tom, Toking Tommy. Oh, what, for this particular live video? I don't know. Hi, Dale Piper. Are you talking about those two pipes there? Okay, so one of them is the Savinelli, which I just showed you, and the other one is a custom pipe which I had made by Paul's Pipes, Paul Menard, and that I gifted to Smoking Grandpa Bones quite a while back. Yeah, it was a small pipe. Very, very nice stem, beautiful stem, and also his style of rustication is at that time was a very fine textured finish. So half of the pipe was smooth, and half of it was this rustication. Almost looks like leather. It was so fine, the rustication. Very, very nice rustication. Anyway, I gifted that to Jerry. Oh, it's going back a couple of years now. No, I've not been to Paris. I haven't been cleaning, not recently. And I cleaned the internals of the pipes a couple of weeks back. I did a clean up of all my pipes. But the reason why you're getting that gleaming edge is the lighting that I use. I've got a couple of directional lights which just help to lift and give a bit of a three-dimensional look to the... otherwise it's all very flat. I turn the lights off. You see the difference? So I've got one from the left and one from the right. It's very, very simple, Lurch, but it's good. There's a few people who have converted to this coffee making, and it's very, very simple. All you need is a milk frother. The rest of it is entirely up to you, what coffee you use and how you make your coffee. Mine is simple instant coffee, good quality instant coffee, and frothed milk. That's it. Coffee, water and milk. Nothing fancy. So I was talking about, thank you, Dwight. So I was talking earlier on about Ben's video, The Artful Codger. And some of you will have seen my video in response. And I've seen a few videos spring up since then on the YTPC about this topic. And I think that it looks like some people are just taking it out of context and possibly trying to make a drama out of something which isn't there. People talking about crossroads on the YTPC and things like that, which I just don't think are there. I think that Ben's... I can understand why people would think that he was making a drama, because I thought that myself initially. But the simple point he was making was that all of the fancy stuff on the YTPC, of which I'm certainly a proponent, is not necessary in order to be a proper pipe smoker. That's what he was saying. He's basically saying that it's all fantastic whichever way you go, but it's not necessary. And people who are new to pipe smoking shouldn't feel intimidated by all the fancy stuff that goes on, all the package openings, the new pipes, the expensive tobaccos, and all that kind of thing. But I think that I don't see any crossroads or anything like that. All I see is diversity, and that's what makes the YTPC the great community that it is. People do whatever they want, people do whatever they prefer, smoke a pipe how they prefer to smoke a pipe, and there's no issue. You could just as easily have an argument about how to break in a pipe. Some people use honey, some people don't, some people use whiskey. And then you can have some guy coming on and saying, well, this is the proper way to do it. Baloney. You just do whatever works for you. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Hi Shrekken. Yeah, I mean, if I hear what you're saying about the watches and cars and all of that kind of thing, which is not me at all. I hope you're recovering well there, Jeff. But if that's what people enjoy doing, they like to show off their expensive Rolexes and all that kind of thing, then that's what they want to do. People who don't like that, who feel it's a little bit show-offy or that kind of thing, won't be watching those kind of channels. It's as simple as that. And it's your choice to decide what you do and don't want to watch. Buzzwell pipes are excellent. They're not as cheap as you might think. They used to be cheaper, I must say. You know, you used to get quite a lot of $99 pipes, which you do still get, but not as many as they used to be. Most of his pipes are starting around $150. The one I got recently, which I smoked earlier on, which I got converted, I can't remember. I think I paid about $120, $130, something like that. Maybe it was 99. I don't remember anymore. Maybe 120. But they are fantastic smoking pipes. Really great pipes. And what's interesting, I mean, obviously he's been doing it for decades, so he's perfected it. But the drilling on his pipes is always fantastic. And I asked him if he'd consider doing filtered pipes, but he's not. He's obviously got enough of a clientele not to start doing a new sort of process at this stage of his life. You know, he must be close to retiring age. This freehand dubbing I've had for a while now, which I will get converted at some point. I don't know if you can see the draw. I mean, basically the advantage of his pipes is that they are always sort of triangular shaped. The bowl, the chamber is always triangular shaped, and it comes to a very fine, almost a very fine point. And he obviously has got some really homemade spades that he, well, not spades, they'll be points that he drills with, and it makes that sharp sort of. And he always, when he drills right at the bottom of that. So it's not up there, he gets it right at the bottom, and that just makes for a fantastic smoke. Hi Matthew, 100%, and like I said, you do whatever's good for you. For instance, I've tried with Meerschaums, and besides for the club pipe that I enjoy smoking, I haven't had a lot of success with them, and so I stick to Briar. Briar so far is my favourite medium. I've tried corn cobs, didn't like it. I still have one or two which I smoke occasionally, but I don't get on with corn cob. Well, depending on how many cigars you got, Eric, £14 doesn't seem too bad. How many clay pipes did you get for that, Alexander? It was about 20 pipes or something? Wow. What cigars did you get there, Eric? I've never smoked a clay. People find them around the Thames all the time. People used to smoke them once and chuck them. So do they behave in a similar way to meerschaums? Yeah, apparently they're all over the banks of the Thames. Some of yours came out of the Thames, really? And you bought them from a shop? Oh, right. Yeah, I have heard that they do get very, very hot. Did you do anything when you started the Cobb Lurch? Did you coat it with anything? Or you just smoke it straight off? In the video that I had to take down earlier on, I talked about breaking in pipes a little bit. And for me, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I mean, I've still got 3 or 4 pipes to break to start, which I haven't smoked yet. And it's high pipes and these. It's a bit of a double-edged sword because it's always exciting to smoke a new pipe. But at the same time, you know that you've got to go through that breaking in process, and the smokes that you're going to have are unlikely to be as good as they would otherwise be. So for me, if I'm in the mood for a good bowl of tobacco, I won't reach for a new pipe. I'll go for one of the ones that I've broken in. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword, and that's why some of these pipes, they're just sitting there and I haven't broken them in yet. I haven't even started them. This one here I've had for quite some time. This was bought as a filtered pipe, and this is a Jean Tête. Nice rustication. It's got a faux Cumberland stem, 9mm. Hi Madeline. So I have still got to break that one in. I've got this new Stanwell. I don't know if I've showed this. I got this not long ago. This is new, unsmoked. This is from 2006. I do like these older stand mills. When they come up, I do try and get them if I've got the financial ability at the time. It's got a nice ring grain on it. It's got a very tight stem, I will say, but it's drilled spot on, bang in the middle. And let me see what the bottom looks like. The bottom of the bowl. Yeah, very well drilled. Not quite like a Boswell, because the bowl isn't pointy at the bottom. It's an interesting shape as well, and with this little extra bit on the bottom. So that's got to be broken in. So there's the Jean Tête. I've still got the Polish pipe, which I got converted, which I still need to break in. This top always reminds me of Moretti pipes. And the Moretti, I have smoked it, but it needs breaking in, but it smoked pretty good, pretty well. Yeah, they're very good value for money as well, the Polish pipes, but I don't see them anymore on eBay, not very often. I've got a feeling that whoever it was, I mean, it was called Alban Pipe and then House of Pipe, and I think it's possible that they're working for Mr. Brogg, I'm not sure. Because I do sometimes see very similar style pipes, I think, being sold by Mr. Brogg. But I haven't seen them for a while. It depends. If you're coming from cigarette smoking, then maybe. But I don't think that you'll notice a very big difference. The filter doesn't remove that much, and I think if you struggle to inhale pipes, then you'll struggle with the filter as well. Sea Delta Piper. When I smoked non-filtered pipes for a couple of years before moving to filtered pipes, so I have had enough experience with non-filtered pipes, and there isn't a huge difference to my experience. The key difference for me is obviously the removal of the moisture. And interestingly, all the other types of absorbent materials which I've tried to see if I can remove moisture but still smoke a non-filtered pipe haven't really worked. Hey Harriet, how are you doing? Saw your video earlier on. I'm doing very well, Harriet. Thank you. I'm breaking in a new RC Sands pipe, which I just got back after being converted, and I'm smoking some GQ Asquith blend, which is a strong vapor. Looking forward to your video tomorrow, Harriet. Yeah, it's been sitting, this pipe's been sitting in my drawer for quite some time. It was new unsmoked. I bought it on eBay, and I think I got it for a song, considering the prices that RC Sands pipes are going for. I was turned on to RC Sands pipes. I mean, I'll only get one. I don't think I have a need to get any more. I like to just get one of carvers that I sort of respect and would like to sort of sample a pipe of theirs. But I'm usually happy with just one. I like to have at least one of a good selection of pipe carvers. But it was Jeremy Larson who got me onto this. He got a load of them in. I mean, when Jeremy gets pipes, he doesn't just get one, you know. But I saw them on his channel and I liked the look of them. Yardism has been kidnapped. What does that mean? Oh, I see he's got a video up, but I haven't watched it yet. There's a few videos gone up in the last hour or so. Got one from Yardism, Tennessee Bull, with Old Berg, and Max Wolf Northwest. So anyway, so this video that I had up earlier on, there's a lot of giveaways going on, and I think I think there will be for a long time, because the rate of increase of the YTPC is such that there's people hitting milestones all the time. It's just getting bigger and bigger, the YTPC, all the time, exponentially. Hi, Old Lang Syne. Well, he's not on every night, Beard. Exactly. I do like his music selection. He went through a phase where his videos were getting taken down because of the music copyright issues, but he doesn't seem to have that problem anymore. Curious, that. So anyway, earlier on, the video that I put up was about my favourite summer blends for 2018. And I went on to name my top 6. So as I've taken the video down, because of the sound quality, the poor sound quality, I'll quickly run through them, if that's what you want. Absolutely. Or you can put a fake moustache on like Harriet does. Old Berg, he used to have a beard in in all his videos until he decided not to. Do you remember that? The piping artist Steph is in the house. How are you doing, Steph? Yeah, I thought I was weird, but I always thought that was interesting. But I understood it. I'm not sure why he changed, but perhaps he just felt more confident after a while. Having teens is harsh. Tell me about it. I've had teens in my life for the last 12 years or so, non-stop. My oldest is now 26. And then I've got 23 and 22, 20, and then 15. Oh, that's sad. Is that a boy or a girl? Oh, a boy. All right. It's sad but cute at the same time, right? How old is he? $14. No, he's only a baby. Although kids are adults very early on these days. I can't really answer that, Alexander, because I don't have 3 kids. I've got a fair amount more than that. Well, I'm sure you're supporting him in the right ways. One door closes to open another. That's the way it goes. 14 is not too bad. Hopefully he's old enough and mature enough to handle it. Well, Alexander, it's there's 2 ways of looking at it. If you have a couple of kids, you can focus on those 2 kids and give them everything. Good shot of whiskey. And when you've got quite a number of kids, you obviously can't give individual attention as much as you'd like to. And when you do, but not as much as you would if you had only 2 kids or 3 kids. But I could see why 3 might be difficult, but because of when there's 2, hopefully they'd get on. When there's 3, there's always 1 too many in a sort of a couple of kids enjoying themselves. But it really depends on the ages, to be honest. Cool. Well, as I said, my oldest is 26. My youngest is 5. And I have a couple of grandkids as well. Awesome, Harriet. Well, that's tough, Steph. I don't know. That's not a world I'm familiar with. 2 boys in their 30s, 3 grandkids. Worried about the oldest girl. Worried how? Tell you what, this pipe is smoking like a champ. The easiest of draws. Just the slightest tug gives me a mouthful of smoke. See you soon, Harriet. I'm smoking some GQ Asquith. Strong vapor. No, it's my first smoke of this pipe. Oh, there's definitely a new pipe flavour in there, but it's drawing very well. The mechanics of the pipe is great. Bengal slices, I've tried that. That's quite nice. It's a Balkan, isn't it? It's smoking very, very well. I blended it on the 18th of June, 18. I pressed it as well in a tobacco tin. I smoked it straight away and I really got nothing from it. I got no flavour, really didn't enjoy it at all. I tried it a few weeks after that, it was marginally better. And I tried it again maybe a week or two ago and it blew my mind. It was fantastic. And it smokes very well. It's a nice rich vapour. So I thought it would be a good idea to break this pipe in because of the richness to it. And it's working. I mean, it's not as, because it's a new pipe, I'm not getting all the flavours through. But it's rich enough to handle the fact that it's in a new pipe. When are you coming to the UK, Steph? The bearded Welshman is in the house. Good evening, how are you doing? We were talking about Boswell pipes just a few minutes ago. I've just taken this for its first maiden voyage, just breaking it in now. RC Sands pipe with some GQ Asquith blend. Cool. It's been a while since I've spoken to Boswells. Are you coming to visit the Peaches, Steph? I'll take a look at it, John. Yeah, it would be really cool to have a meet-up. Really ought to do on a YTPC meet-up on a more regular basis. The last there's the picnic which Tree goes to, who went with the Peachies last time, and not the last time but the time before, together with what's his name, Spiky Head, what's his name, hey Josh. So I wasn't able to. Alright, Steph. Phil, yeah, Philistine. Cool dude. So, on my video that I did in response to the Artful Codger, Philistine recognised his neck of the woods in my video. Must have been driving around his area where he lives. So hopefully we'll get together in the near future as well. There's something special about meeting up somebody on the YTPC. You've seen a couple of my videos, and it really is. People say it's like meeting up somebody and having a conversation as if you'd spoken just the day before. And you know, being on the YTPC, it just takes away that whole breaking of the ice, the need to break the ice, that awkward sort of getting to know somebody, and you can just carry on a conversation that you'd talk about a video or a pipe or a tobacco that you'd been talking about on a video recently. There is something really special about meeting somebody on the YTPC. My only issue with things like Panatellas and Lanceros and these kind of things, especially if they're Cuban, is that they're often quite a tight draw. I assume not so with non-Cubans. They also tend to be quite a bit spicier. Thank you, Lurch. Very nice of you to say so. The YTPC certainly has me being somewhat of a night owl. And the time flies. Before you know it, we've already gone an hour. And these Saturday nights, I tend to end up being up till 2, 3 in the morning as a result. Well, for me, it's just I really enjoy smoking in the car when I'm driving, smoking a pipe or a cigar. I'm not really much for, although I do it when I have the opportunity, but a lot of people enjoy smoking, lunting, walking with a pipe. I prefer, if I've got the choice, I prefer to smoke while I'm driving. I get the advantage of being indoors, if you like, in the car, but also having good ventilation with the windows open, as opposed to in here, for instance, where although I've got ventilation, it's not the same. But at the same time, I'm very fortunate to be able to smoke indoors. So I know that I'm very fortunate. Gail, I'm right here. Thanks for joining, Gail, by the way. Cheers, Suffolk Piper. All the best. Thanks for joining. Anyway, so I said I would talk about my summer blend. So I picked out 6 blends that I've been enjoying. I did a video earlier on which I had to take down because the sound quality was disastrous. So I'll just run through them quickly now. Obviously, going into filtered pipes has enabled me to smoke Virginia forward blends, and that's really what I've been stuck on since then. I still, even though winter's starting to kick in, I still haven't got a tasting for Latakia back yet. So, at number 6, I've chosen Samuel Gawith Best Brown Flake. It's a very, very nice blend, very smooth, nice and sweet. It's subtle. For me, it is a bit subtle. Full Virginia Flake is also quite subtle, but this one is a little bit more easygoing. Full Virginia Flake, as I mentioned in my video the other day, there's a lot of flavors going on, but they're quite subtle, so you need to be able to sit back and relax and focus on the smoke and to get the best out of it. You can smoke it any time, obviously, but to get the best out of it. Best Brown is also subtle, but it's much more linear. There isn't so many levels of flavor, so you can smoke it any time, but it is quite subtle. So again, it's one which you could probably get the best out of in a more relaxed kind of situation, but you could smoke it more. It's more of an anytime smoke simply because it's more linear, less complicated, less complex, but it's very nice. It's got a really nice malty sweetness to it, subtle but nice. It's just a really good quality tobacco. So that was my number 6 for this summer. This is not an all-time selection of blends. It's just the ones that I've been smoking this summer. I've smoked many different blends, but the ones that I could say that I've reached for more often. At number 5, where is it? Where's number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I know what it was. Number 5 is Madsen and Hedges Special Virginia. This is a tobacco which I discovered recently, but I've been enjoying it a lot. And there's only a few little dregs left in there. Might have a bowl of this later. But again, a very nice sweet Virginia, tempered and contrasted very nicely by some Kentucky. Gives it a little bit of spiciness, lifts the blend, and gives you a nice full flavour in the mouth. Mellow Virginia, yeah, it used to be called Mellow Virginia, absolutely. You're probably right, Gail. I doubt you can get it in the States, but it's an OTC here. So that was my number 5. At number 4, I had Christmas Cheer. This particular one is 2016, which I've been enjoying. But I'm putting all Christmas Cheers into that because although they are, it would be higher up the list, but because it's Christmas Cheer, it's a special tobacco. It's not one that I'm going to smoke every single day, but I have reached for it a lot, and that's between 2014, 16 and 17, which is the 3 years that I've got. A really great blend. Yes, they are slightly different each year, but they're all sort of got the DNA of McClelland Virginia tobaccos, rich and spicy. And number 1 and number 2 are really joint. I can't say one above the other, but at number 2 I've put 40th anniversary. Again, another special tobacco, so even though it's not one which in long term that I'll be able to reach for on a regular basis, but at the moment I'm smoking it quite regularly, especially I seem to be smoking it on a Friday afternoon. It seems to be becoming a regular thing in my Bentley pipe, and I'm really enjoying that smoke. What I have noticed, which I did say in the video before, is that there are differences between one tin of this and another. I've got 2 tins of this open at the moment. One tin which I've been through a whole tin, which was the first tin I've tried, and it blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. Phenomenal smoke. The second tin which I opened wasn't. It was much more linear. It wasn't as rich. And then I managed to buy an open tin from Sapient Smoke on IG, and that one is again a fantastic smoke. So I have seen a bit of a difference between the tins, but that's my number 2. And at number 1, simply because it's what I reach for the most at the moment, is Mac Baren Dark Twist. I first got to try the Dark Twist when I got I won't say vintage, but certainly an older tin. This is from 2012, and I really loved it the minute I smoked it. And I wasn't sure if it was because it was with 6 years age, or if it would be if I just liked the blend. So I bought the fresh tin, and it's just as good, perhaps lacking that bit of extra richness and age, but certainly will age and hopefully match that older tin. So I hope to stock up a little bit with that. I'm not going to go mad, but certainly have a few tins to age. It's a very nice tobacco. The concept on this one is that you get, if I'm smoking it regularly, I leave it in the tin for 2 reasons. Number 1, if I've got too many jars, okay? So if you have a look up there, I've got those top shelves are 2 rows. Whoops. Sorry everybody, I dropped you. Apologies. So those rows up there are 2. There's 2 jars in each one. So behind each one there's another jar. So these are all my open bits and pieces. Some of them are stuff which I don't really smoke anymore. I should really just empty them and put other stuff in it. But because I've got so many jars, I basically try not to jar stuff up if I don't have to. So what I do is I'll either put open tins in a Tupperware like that, and that will keep it airtight. But generally speaking, especially if it's Samuel Gauth or something like that, I'll definitely leave it in the tin if I'm smoking it regularly, because it'll dry it out. And most tobaccos taste better and smoke better when they're dry to some extent. So the concept behind this is you get these little roundels, these little medallions, coins, call it what you like, and you get one which is Virginia, like that, and you get, so there's 2 Virginias to 1, and then you get a dark one like that which has got Kentucky in it. So 25% of the tin is these dark ones, and 75% of the tin is the pure Virginia, and you mix them up. And to be honest, I just grab whatever comes to hand. I don't really make much of an issue about which ones I'm getting, and generally speaking they're probably sort of marrying the aromas in there anyway. So I leave it in the tin. If I'm smoking it regularly. Hugh, hi Hugh, didn't see you come in. Yeah, at least I didn't spill anything, absolutely right. Alright Steph, maybe I'll catch you on your live. Yes, Alexander, you get two. You get, as I said, you get. There's two rolls. One of them is pure Virginia, and one of them is Virginia with Kentucky, and you get two rolls of Virginia to one roll of Kentucky in each tin. Going through these matches like water. I think there must be some kind of flavouring in there as well. I'm not sure what it is, but it's see the Mellow Virginia or Special Virginia is also Virginia and Kentucky, but it doesn't taste like that. This one, the Dark Twist, has a particular flavour to it, and there must be some kind of flavouring in there. Could be. I used to think it was maple, but I don't know. Maybe it's rum, I don't know. Mellow Virginia also has topping, yeah, could be. I would give some honourable mentions to some tobaccos which I've discovered this year as well, and that is Amphora Virginia, which is very, very nice. A very sweet Virginia. I love the presentation of it, Amphora Virginia. It's a really thick cut, broken flake. Well, it's technically a rubbed out flake, but they're really nice, thick strands, which I like. I really enjoy that kind of, when I break out a flake, when I rub out a flake, I rub it out like that as well. I don't really rub it to a ribbon, if you like. I like to leave the bits quite thick. Seems to work for me. I've gone through that packet of Amphora Virginia very quickly, and there's only a drop left in here. I've not seen amphora in a pouch, in a tin. I've only seen it in a pouch. I thought I had some more of this somewhere. I did mix some of it with London Fog once, but I thought I had another pouch somewhere. I got this a while back from GQ, which is Germain's Royal Jersey Perique. I still haven't tried it. Haven't got around to doing it. Hi Mitch, how you doing? Thanks for joining. But you can't get Amphora Virginia here in the UK, I don't think. You can get full aroma and these kind of things, but I don't think you can get Virginia, pure Virginia. I got it from Danish Pipe Shop. No, in fact, I think I opened the second pouch. I think I got a pouch from Izzy a while back. I think I must have opened that second pouch as well, because I think on one pouch I had a little bit of mould, if I remember correctly, so I opened the second pouch. London Fog is a blend which I've put together of McClelland's Virginia Woods and Orlik Golden Sliced. And it's been a very, very successful blend for me. And quite a number of people have tried it and they say that they like it as well, which is good. Sorry, Josh, still here. I've got a load of packages to send out, and I haven't had a chance to do them. I've got to do Tim's as well. I've got to do Arts. I've got a few bits and bobs. The little cigar sale was successful as well. I've sold the Partagas, and I just got an email today from somebody who wants to take the Ramon Allones box, so hopefully those two are gone. I've got to send those out as well. I've got a lot of packing up to do. Just haven't had a chance this week. McLaren is out of business, yes, I'm afraid so, Lurch. Very sad state of affairs. Hey, Tim. I was just saying, Tim, that I haven't had a chance to send out packages. You know, I've got stuff to send to you as well. So I was just apologising. Alright. Next drink in the house. Some tea, which I prepared earlier. Here's one I prepared earlier. What does that mean? Limbs down. Harriet. Fusilier's ration. I can't remember. I might have done. I know I've got some somewhere. Or if I had it, I've given it away possibly. But I have had it. Just having a look. I may still have a tin. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not going to start pulling my whole cellar apart now, but I have tried it. Oh, Injured Trees, right. Again, a nice Latakia blend. But I have got to a stage with Latakia, despite the fact that I'm not smoking it at the moment, but even when I was smoking it, that Northwoods, for me, was always the pinnacle of Balkan blends for me. And of course, you've got the special Latakia flake, and you've got Penzance, and so to bed, all the different Balkan blends that are out there, Balkan Blue, and they're all great. But for me, I've yet to find something which bettered Northwoods, and as a result, I'm not in that chase anymore for different Balkan blends. I'm just thinking if I should give Northwoods a try. I haven't smoked it for so long. Well, we'll get one of the English pipes out. Have you never had it before, John? Peddler Piper, good evening. Thank you for joining, and Nelly Catalano. Northwoods is a Balkan blend. I think, strictly speaking, I'm no expert, but I think, strictly speaking, any Latakia based blend which has got Orientals in it is a Balkan, I think. But I might be wrong. It could be just the Latakia from the Balkan region makes it a Balkan. Oh, very nice. Yeah, you get a pound, you get a gram, an ounce of tobacco with every pipe. That is true. Yes, an English blend. Again, I'm constantly learning as well, and an English blend, generally speaking, is considered a Latakia based blend. But I think the English style of blending is different. The English style of blending, when people talk about an English blend, they're talking about a non-cased tobacco, so it's natural tobacco. I think the English style of blending, of putting tobaccos together. But again, I might be totally wrong. It might just be the way they make the tobacco. I don't know. I'm no expert on that. All right. Well, here goes nothing. I'll tell you what. There's the tobacco is glistening. This tobacco is from January 17. I don't think you'll be able to catch it on the camera, but well, we're going to find out. Here we go. I won't dislike it. I mean, this was my #1 tobacco for a long time. It's just a question of whether I fancy Latakia, and I just haven't been interested in it. It's one thing when I light up a bowl of Northwoods is just that initial beautiful, musty, smoky, sweet aroma hits your nose, and it's just such a familiar friend. I suppose that backs up what Artful Codger was saying about being intimate with certain tobaccos. And that's why Northwoods for me is still my #1 Latakia blend, and everything has to sort of stand up to it if I'm gonna really go for it. There are 1 or 2 Boswell blends which I think they've stopped making. For me, this is the epitome of blends which requires retrohaling. If I wasn't to retrohale, generally speaking, Hugh, I would drink this with coffee. A nice milky coffee. It works so well with most Latakia blends. But this particular blend, if I don't retrohale, it's like many other English blends out there, but the retrohale on this is just so sublime. I've finished my coffee now, I'm on to tea. And I especially made this second thing because I didn't want to go out in the middle. Yeah, they make some lovely tobacco. I mean, the aromatics and the English blends are fantastic. Somebody who's starting off in their pipe journey, going into aromatics, that's a fantastic place to start. Nowadays, for me, I mean, No Bite Delight was a very strong favourite of mine in the early days. Now I find it already a little bit like other aromatics in that I do get some of that metallic alcohol, artificial flavour coming through, but I still find them to be better than a lot of other aromatics out there. See you, Tim. Thank you very much. I haven't heard about that blend. Right, this pipe is only just getting going now. So excuse me while I partake. I think this Northwoods has definitely smoothed off a bit. It's been sitting in that jar for a while now. I've got another jar which is jarred in January 18, so I'm going to try and leave that as long as possible. Cheers, Nelly. This tamper was made by a gentleman here in the UK. Somebody remind me. He did a lot of sort of wood carvings for a while, but he doesn't. I haven't seen much of him. He doesn't do videos anymore. Occasionally, he does pictures on IG. But there's my memory once again. Tim will know who it is. I remember when he first started doing videos, I sent him a package. He was smoking a pipe and he was inhaling it as if it was a cigarette, and I was blown away. I don't know how he could do that. The cigar tamper, I left it in the car. I used it earlier on today and I've left it in there by mistake, but yeah, they're very good, and they're made by Ruffworks, Rick Ruff. He does some awesome stuff. If you want to get some nice tampers, you should look him up. I'll show you one he made for me a while back. I've never used it. Some of you will have seen it already. So early on, I was discovering everything to do with the YTPC, and right in the beginning, you know, you see all the different types of tampers and all the paraphernalia that goes with it, and obviously I wanted to have, you know, a nice tamper, and all I had at that time were the check tools. So I saw his page on IG. At that time, I was smoking this all the time, this pipe. I was smoking cherry tobaccos in this pipe. And I got him to make me some, I asked him to make me a tamper to go with this. Isn't that awesome? It's beautifully weighted. He's obviously got so much experience with stuff. It looks beautiful. And he, at the time, he puts BP UK. When I first started, I was known as BPR UK. And I don't know, I've just never used it. It was too nice for me to use. But it's funny, just earlier today I was thinking I should take it out and start using it. It's stupid not to use it. It's something which is personal to me. What's the point of not using it? Wouldn't be of much use to anybody else in terms of the style of it and the personalization of it. But I've still not used it. Well, I've had 2 or 3 of Rick's cigar tampers, and I've never had an issue with that. It's only on the foot of it that touches the ash. The rest of it on the side, that ashy bit, doesn't touch it. It's fine. I've got one here, which was made. I think this was made either by Le Don Mott or Danny Shaw. I don't remember which. But you can see there, it gets a bit grey at the bottom, which only adds authenticity, but the rest of it is fine. Yeah, it's very possibly the Dons. I forget all this stuff, and there's a limit to how much you can write down. Everything that you've got around on the desk in the drawers. Those leather coated pipes, they're intriguing. Artful Codger smokes one as well. He's probably got quite a few of those. I've not tried one yet. I don't know if you can buy them new, can you? I've seen quite a few of them go on eBay, but I've never been tempted to get one. Was never not sure why, but generally speaking, I would expect that most of them were there to cover blemishes in the briar, and also, of course, the comfort of holding a soft material, I suppose. Well, this Northwoods is very nice. I'm enjoying it. The only thing I don't enjoy at the moment is the finish and the taste that gets left in your mouth. And with this particular tobacco, it's a mixture of Latakia and Orientals, which sits on your tongue. and it's not a feature that I've enjoyed with Northwoods all the time. I've always not particularly liked the flavour that's left on the tongue afterwards. Yeah, the pipe nails are phenomenal. I don't know who came up with that idea, but I use those tampons more than anything else at all. I have one in the car which sits in the vent. On the top of my dash there's like a almost horizontal vent, and it just sits in there perfectly. It's been in there probably for a year or two, and just stays there, and they're fantastic. Oh, no, I wouldn't pay £50 either. I got this one from Agape Custom Leather when he first started, and I think they're $15, and I paid him $15 and he sent me 2, which was very nice of him. I mean, the quality is nothing like it is now. He's obviously developed his craft, and his stuff is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I wouldn't pay 50 quid for it either. Izzy got a really nice one from whoever it was, don't remember. That's a beautiful piece of leather. There are quite a lot of leather crafters out there. Oh, I see Unicorn Pipe has put out a top 5 blends for autumn. Very nice. Alright, well, I think I'm going to do a little London Calling live giveaway. I'm not promising that I'll do this every single week, but let's have a look at what we've got. I put it aside before. Very nice little piece. Kerouac. Okay, so tonight I'm going to give away a nice Art Deco style pipe stand, which you've seen on my table last week. Very, very nice little stand. We'll take 4 pipes. I did have it up for sale a while back. It didn't sell, but it's a really nice piece. It's made with a couple of different types of wood. It looks like a darker, possibly a mahogany, and a lighter wood there. Nice piece, a really nice piece. I don't recall, Andy. It was probably about, I don't know, £500, something like that. So whoever gets it tonight, whew. It's not important. I'm giving it away as a gift. The value is not important. Right, let's just make a quick list of who's on. Alright, everybody beside for the bearded Welshman who wants to be in on this, say aye. Just kidding. Right, everybody who wants to be in, say I'm in. Lurch is number 1. Number 2 is Pipe Man. All the silent people are suddenly waking up. Number 3 is Harriet. Number 4 is Huge. Number 5 is Peddler. Number 6 is Nell of the D'Urbervilles. Number 5 is Harold, 25. I'm going to have to change the rules. There's so many people on here who are silent until now. 7 is Harold. Number 8 is Grumpy Josh. Number 9 is John. Number 10 is Dale. Number 11 is Eric Ramekin. Number 12 is Gail. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's Gail. Number 13 is Big Mike. Who the hell are you, Big Mike? Say hi. Introduce yourself. Big Mike is lucky 13. Number 14 is Matt Streaker. Yeah, I know it says Streeter, don't worry. Number 15, John. I got you in at number 9, don't worry. You're in. Yeah, Lurch, I'd probably agree with you there. Big Mike is a lurker, yes, we gathered that. And I think number 15 is Joe Fish. Does anybody else watch those tuna fishing programs? I get hooked on those. Excuse the pun. I find them very fascinating. Peddler, I got you in, haven't I? Yeah, you're number 5. Tree, are you there? All right, are you in? It's whoever's on, really. Tim's a great guy, good friend of mine. But I think we're just going to stick to the rules, really. Number 16 is tree. Mostly because tree, you haven't got enough stuff lying around your house. So I feel that I need to give you a chance to add to your vast array of paraphernalia, which no doubt keeps your roof on. Crabbing shows, tuna, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's get to this drawing. Where's my other phone? Here we are. Okie dokies. So, the drawer is now closed. So I'm just going to quickly read back, and if you're not in, give me a shout. Number 1 is Lurch, who by this time next week will probably be going by another name. 2, Pipeman. 3 is Harriet. 4 is Huge. 5 is Peddler. 6 is Nelly. Furtado. 7 is Harold. 8 is Josh. 9 is John. 10 is Dale. 11 is Eric. 12 is Gail. 13 is Big Mike, the Lurker. 14 is Matthew Streeter. 15 is Joe Fish. 16 is Tree. Okay. Well, there's still lots of you who are being very silent because there's 28 people on at the moment. So, where are we? Minimum 1, maximum 16. That's pretty good odds. Okay, Harriet, you're up. No? No drum roll this week? Okay, no drum roll. There it is. Thank you, Huge. A huge drum roll from you. Right. On your marks. Get set. It's the Lurker. I'm not sure I can allow that. Well done. Well done, Big Mike. Oh my God, indeed. The reason why you don't win anything is because you never say anything. Right. Big Mike, do you know my email address? Well, there it is. So send me an email with your details and we'll get this off to you in due course. May I ask where you are? Which part of the world? Please tell me you're in the UK. Texas. Nah, it's okay. It wouldn't be a giveaway if you had to pay for it, would it? America, yeah, absolutely. Well, here, Big Mike, have another look at it, because you won't be seeing it for a long time. Nah, he said with an evil laugh. It's a nice little thing. Well, Harriet, this Northwoods ain't too bad. Well, who's a lucky boy then, Gail? I assume you're a boy, but you might be a girl. You might be a Gail. You might be a gal. All right, people. 1:30 a.m. Almost 2 hours in. So, unless you guys got any questions or anything else you want me to talk about or show. John, that won't get you anywhere. Seen it all before. I saw, yes, thank you, Harriet. I really appreciate that. I saw, I heard you run my name through. I didn't want to make a fuss about it. I don't think I made an official shout out video as such, but I definitely mentioned it in a few of my videos, but it's very kind of you to include me in that. Good night, Dale. Thanks for joining. Yeah, A for effort there, John. What type of Boswell did you get there, John? I will have a look at your video, but what shape is it? All right, cool, John. Have a good one. The book called Life. Well, that's a never-ending conversation, that one. Was there anything in particular that you wanted me to talk about? Any particular chapter in the Book of Life? Cheers, Gail. RC pipes, as in reverse calabash. I look forward to seeing that one, John. I mean, the good thing about this stand is that you're not really restricted down here. It's really a question of on your on the bits on the end of your stem whether they'll go in there, but they're pretty good. You should get anything in there really. All right, people. Lurch, Big Mike, John, Gail, Josh, Harriet, Hugh, Nelly, Gail, Tree, Pipeman, Dale, Tim earlier on, and everybody else. Thank you very much for joining. Another wonderful chit chat, and I hope to see you all again next week. I'm sure there'll be a video or two up in between. And Tree, we'll get there one day. It just means that I don't have to go to bed early tonight. Best tamper of the lot. Which paper filters? Which ones are you talking about, Pipeman? You talking about the very thin, long tubes that go in the stem? Oh, you're talking about these things here? Yeah, no, they're not filters as such. All it is a round piece of paper which you wrap around the tobacco, and it just holds it all together. Maybe it makes it drier, possibly. Yeah. It says a boon to wet smokers. I'm probably not going to use them. Actually, they're really, really old. I don't know what they are. I don't know what I'll be smoking. I don't know if there's any chemicals in there or anything like that. So I doubt it very much. I won that in a raffle at the Pipe Club of London, and they look really old. I would say that they're probably about 50, 60 years old. I think it's unlikely that I'll try them. I mean, it's bad enough that we smoke tobacco and all the chemicals that are in those, some of them. But something which is unknown, it's just not worth it, really. Cheers, Kerouac. Oh, you saw me win them, thank you. Oh, you saw the video, right, cool. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I will catch you on the next one.